Hello, everyone. This is Jonathan Weibel here with another episode of Politics with Jonathan. And today I want to start a bit of a new series, a look into 2028 as that is fastly approaching. And of course, this will be a very early look into the most likely outcome for the 2028 race, which will be, or not most likely outcome, most likely candidates, which will be Gavin Newsom and JD Vance, to see who I think would come out victorious. And of course, things will definitely change as we get into 2027, 2028, the years that really count for who will win the presidency in 2028. So without further ado, let's begin. So, to start off, we have Gavin Newsom, safe states. So, of course, that will be California. There we go. Oregon, Washington, let's see. Colorado will definitely be safe. Illinois. I don't think so. Let's see. Maryland, Delaware, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts. The second congressional district and the first congressional district, they'll both be safe. New York, of course. I don't think there are too many surprises here. I just wanted to make sure that I got them all, and I believe. Oh, Hawaii almost snuck away from me. I believe I did. So now let's just fill out the safe states for Vance here. The other one, it lets you, just like go all over them and select all of the states. Scott Lords, Nebraska second. Yeah, that won't be. I don't think so. I'll change that in a minute. I think these. I think these two. Yeah, I think Florida's trending off a cliff for the Democrats, just like Colorado has trended off a cliff for the Republicans. I definitely think there aren't really too many surprises. Well, no, I think Texas will be safe too. Texas was a 14-point margin for Trump, so I don't think Newsom's going to get it under 10. So now, if we look at the lean states, first for Gavin Newsom, we have New Mexico will probably be lean. Minnesota will probably be lean. Let's see. Yeah, Virginia will be lean. New Jersey will be lean, although that state is trending Republican. I cannot believe that I missed New Hampshire. New Hampshire, if it'll let me click on New Hampshire, New Hampshire will not be lean. Phil Scott would have to win like 90% of the vote, and then maybe he could get like super majorities there. Who knows? That would be pretty funny. I think that's all of the lean states for the Democrats. There aren't too many. And if we go to Vance, the lean states in his column will be, we're going to bump Iowa down to lean. We're going to make Ohio lean. And Maine second will be lean. So now if we look at the, what I will call the likely states for Gavin Newsom, the likely state more than likely will be New Hampshire. I think New Hampshire will definitely be a likely state for him. I think even though Trump did pretty well in that state. Oh, oops. I think even though Trump did pretty well in that state, I definitely think that New Hampshire is not ready to flip as of yet. It does have a Republican trifecta in the state legislature, but New Hampshire typically has a more libertarian ideology, so they're typically more inclined to vote Democratic on the presidential and Senate level, and of course the House. But for everything else, they're much more inclined to vote Republican, because the Republicans in New Hampshire are a lot more moderate than the Republicans statewide. And now for the lean states for the Republicans, I do believe there will probably be three. I think North Carolina will be lean. I think that state will end up lean because oops. No, wait. Yeah, hold on. There we go. Still having to fiddle with the margins a bit. I think North Carolina will be a lean state compared to the likely and safe because North Carolina's registration has been looking very good for Republicans. And I definitely think that when it comes to Gavin Newsom, he won't really be able to get the black population out nearly as much as, say, a Warnock or more would be able to in order to make even a state like North Carolina and Georgia more competitive, especially Georgia. We'll get to that one later. But I think as of right now, Newsom would probably lose it by around a 2 to 3 point margin. I also think Arizona will be in the lean column. I do think Newsom will strengthen margin down in Arizona a bit, but Arizona was really the huge surprise in the 2024 election because people thought Trump would win Arizona, but they did not think he would win it by the amount he won it. I definitely think with Arizona's voter registration seriously trending to the right, and overall their state is controlled by both Republican legislators. They just really messed up 2022, specifically with the abysmal candidate that Carrie Lake was for them. And I definitely think that Arizona probably will be anywhere around a 3 to 5 point win for Vance. And I almost forgot Nebraska's second. Yeah, Newsom is definitely going to win that. Think he probably wins it by a likely margin. Not safe, but likely. I think Nebraska's second, from what I've seen, has been trending to the left, but I do not think it will be in the safe column as of yet. I think it will take a couple more cycles. I also think Nevada, more than likely, will be in that likely column. I definitely think Nevada, same thing, trending hard in voter registration. Recently elected a Republican governor. If the GOP did not fail, well, severely underperform in the 2022 elections, they would have Adam Laxalt as their senator. He lost by only like a zero point 0.8 margin. It was a very close race. All of the polls showed he was going to win, but the GOP just really did not do good in 2022. We could get into that whole thing, but basically, Mitch McConnell is not very good with allocating money to specific candidates. He'll give money to somebody like Larry Hogan in Maryland, but then he'll deprive somebody like Adam Laxalt. And of course, those were different races, but I think you can understand the point I'm trying to make. So I think these four states right here will be definitely more down to the wire states from how I see it. And to start off with Gavin Newsom in the tilt, I do think Wisconsin is going to be tilt Gavin Newsom. That state definitely did not trend nearly as hard to Trump as a lot of people thought before the election. They thought it would be the most Trump of the three Rust Belt states, the core Rust Belt states, but it was actually the one that voted for Trump by the least amount compared to Kamala Harris. And that state, from the voter registration we've seen and everything else, it does not look good for the Republicans long term. And I do think with this being after 4 years of GOP control and after 4 years of Trump, I do think Newsom definitely picks off a state here, and I think that state will be Wisconsin. Now, in the tilt Vance margin, I would definitely want to put Michigan in the tilt Vance. No, not safe. And the tilt Vance margin. Same thing as I have reiterated a lot, but it definitely seems like the trends for the GOP have been pretty favorable in Michigan, and Vance has some very unique Rust Belt appeal, specifically with him having been a senator in Ohio, and Newsom, specifically with California, and even if it's fair or not, the state California is in, that definitely will not make him very attractive to the Rust Belt. So I definitely think Michigan is another tilt. Vance probably carries it by like 0.5 to maybe a point, but I think it would be safe to put Michigan there. I'd also put PA there. Hold on. There we go. The reason I'd put PA there is a bit different. The voter registration was looking good at first, but when the elections happened, a lot of Democrats reactivated their voter registration. Though I do think one thing that'll definitely help Vance is the Republican Party in Pennsylvania, apart from the abysmal candidate Doug Mastriano is incredibly competent. They have all of the I believe it's three major state offices. They control the state. I believe, yeah, they control the state senate. They're just one member away from controlling the state house. It's 102 to 101. They did have the state house, but due to Mastriano's abysmal performance, they lost 12 members, what's lost them the state house. But I definitely think the competent party there definitely will help Vance pull off a win, and Pennsylvania overall has been trending more to the right. And I think as long as the economy is at a decent level by mid 2028, I definitely think Vance will have the momentum here. And Georgia, definitely, if we had another candidate like a Warnock or even a Moore, I'd more than likely give Georgia to the Democrats because Warnock, Moore, even an Ossoff really would be able to get the black voter base out to vote in Georgia, would be able to keep their land margins and maybe even expanded some of the rural margins. But I definitely think with Newsom being the candidate, I definitely think he would bleed a little bit in Atlanta and he would really bleed in some more of these rural counties. He would keep it together. Well, I should say this. He would do better than Harris did overall in the Atlanta area. Atlanta and the areas around it are trending to the left from what I've seen from the state because, of course, I live in the state of Georgia here. Oh, my mistake. There we go. I definitely think that Georgia is trending to the left, but I definitely think that we have a quite competent state GOP here that controls everything. The only area we don't control is the senators because we have two Democratic senators, and that was a big fumble on the GOP's part. So I think as of right now, this is probably the map. I think overall this is a pretty likely map. And for the state that I could definitely see um surprise people the most, I'd probably say that is a bit of a tough one. I'd probably say New Jersey. If New Jersey doesn't even move towards a point towards Newsom, then I definitely think the Democrats have some serious problems in New Jersey. Even though what was shown in the 2025 election was that they are still decently competent, but I do believe a lot of that was due to the shutdown, really inflating Cyril's margins. I still believe she would have won, but I believe it would have been much closer without the shutdown. So, anyways, that is my map. I hope you enjoyed this different kind of a video, and please like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me what you all think and who you think will win in this hypothetical matchup. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for the two people that have subscribed recently. I really, really appreciate it. And every like we get, every subscription we get, every comment we get allows more people to go on this wonderful journey with us. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye.